Okay, right, let's work now on the wall, the bottom part, right here. We're going to use the same colors we used for the upper part. Titanium buff, this is titanium buff, raw umber, tiny bit of red. And I'm using a flat brush or a bright. I bring in red slowly with the corner of my brush, not too much red. I think I have too much water in my paint, but that's okay. I'll put another layer. Too much paint and too much white. I think it should be darker. Because this, if it's darker, I can highlight it. But if it's light, there's no room for highlight.
More raw umber then?
Yeah, raw umber. More raw umber. So usually what I do is I darken a little bit the bottom part. I take red and raw umber. I think I should wait for it to dry because it's lifting right now. Yeah, I'll wait for it to dry a bit. Let me see. I'll try. No, it needs to dry. All right, so now let's work on this wall right here. So we have here Naples Yellow and white. So already we have raw umber, a bit of red, Naples Yellow, and white. Let's start with Naples Yellow, a little bit of raw umber, just to tone it down a bit so it's not too bright at this point. Okay, that's a good color. Let me see, maybe I'll darken a bit. Exposure. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to start with from here. That's a little bit too light for now. So I'm going to grab more raw umber into the Naples Yellow and a very small amount of red, touch with the corner of my brush, just to keep the raw umber from looking too brown. Yeah, I think that's a good one. That's good. And it will dry darker anyway.
They both going to be the same color, the front?
The front and the back, but we will highlight the front more.
Okay.
So that's why I'm putting more raw umber at the bottom of this wall. You know, this wall here. I'm putting a little bit more raw umber. That will help as well. Gonna be a lot of covering in here. We have the balcony too. Okay. Also, this wall here, this part here should be a little bit darker. Now that I've done the dark part, I'm just gonna bring in some Naples Yellow now at this point into that into the dark color I had before, and try to blend a bit. I mean, you see it now, it looks a bit too bright, but it will dry darker. And we can push the highlighted part down a bit, also here.
This is just Naples Yellow, right?
That's Naples Yellow mixed with the raw umber that I had before here with Naples Yellow.
Okay.
Right there. I need to change my brush. Or just okay, good. You will see once we start putting those the highlights, it will look as much softer. So, okay, now I'm putting highlights. Highlights meaning I added just a little bit more of the Naples Yellow. So I add the Naples Yellow slowly. You don't want to use just pure Naples Yellow. So what I do is I always add it slowly to the color, dark color I had before, and slowly I increase the amount of Naples Yellow into the same darker part, darker color that I had before. So now you see when I started using a stronger highlight, I kept underneath the windows some of the darker, softer, darker color. Now I'm going to do the same. Let's take more of the Naples Yellow, push it into the color, darker color again. So slowly what I'm doing is I'm increasing the amount of Naples Yellow into the darker color, but at the same time I'm using this darker color for shadows underneath the windows, windowsills. Now, I'm going to stop in a minute. All I'm doing is I'm taking raw umber with a round brush right here, and I'm just going to put stronger shadow here underneath, right underneath this windowsill. Don't push it down, just underneath the windowsill. Okay, I need to do one more thing and then I'll pause. I'm using a brown brush and I'm just pulling down with like a glaze. Okay, it's not a heavy paint. It's much easier to use a round brush when you're doing something like this. It's just you can control some of the detail a little bit better, especially when you're highlighting soft highlight or darkening or okay. I'm going to stop for a minute because I need this to dry, and then I'll work on this one here. So now I'm going to paint this wall, and what I have here is same raw umber, Naples yellow, touch of red, very small amount of red, but I have more Naples yellow, so it's lighter. This wall is lighter, it's in front of that one. So, yeah, okay, that's good. I know it looks very, very light right now. I'm going to pull some raw umber in here so it gives me room to highlight. If it's too light, then I don't have any, I won't be able to highlight it because it'll be too light. Okay, upper part, lighter, and lower part we're going to start adding more of the raw umber. Okay, now underneath the window we need to put some darks, so I'm going to mix more of the raw umber with the Naples yellow in here, like I did with the other one. I'm just going to put some darker. There. And also underneath this one. And I'm going to bring some darker yellow in here at the bottom. I always like to darken the lower part of the wall a bit so it doesn't look flat. Doesn't look the same color top to bottom. Same, actually I should say same value. Okay, it's good. Now I can go back to this one because it's dry now, and I can start highlighting it a little bit more with a smaller brush. Mixing Naples Yellow with another layer of with a bit of the Naples Yellow mixed with raw umber again. So now I'm gonna put perfect color. Actually, perfect shade of yellow in here. All right, let's take a bit more of the Naples Yellow, and just Naples Yellow at this point, and just highlight this part a bit, just the upper part. It just gives it a soft highlight. Perfect. Okay. It's still wet, I think. Yeah. I'm just gonna wait for that one to dry. Usually when I'm waiting for one part to dry, I work on the other part. So I can go back to the wall, and then I'll pause. I'm mixing raw umber, titanium buff, and because this is the second layer, it's going to be it will be highlighted. Tiny bit of red. Okay, it's good. Okay, so let's do the first layer of the chimney. Raw umber and Naples Yellow. Okay. A little bit more of the raw umber now. Pulling a little bit more raw umber into that mixture and putting it here, right here. Now, same idea, same actually color, be a little bit darker, more raw umber, put it here. And you see in a minute, once I start highlighting, it will look really good. All right, so let's do, now I'm still working on this, on the chimney, first layer, and then I will highlight this layer. So I used Naples Yellow and raw umber, but more raw umber than Naples Yellow. You can see from the color. And I will start using Naples Yellow when I start highlighting. Right now, I'm just putting the detail. Okay, good. All right. Now, one more detail as well. It's, again, I'm using Naples Yellow raw umber. And I'm going to work on this side. This is, there's a detail in here. I'll put first a line that goes across. I need more water. You can see that my brush is not sliding easily here. Okay. Other one is, again, it's more of the raw umber with Naples Yellow for now. More than for the first layer, because we're trying to cover the brown underneath. Okay, now this is good. Now what I'm going to do is start adding this little detail here, and it doesn't have to be perfect, and it's not going to be perfect actually. Or what we can do, we can do it this way, or we can take more raw umber like this, like really dark raw umber, and put one line of dark burnt umber here. This is just covering the brown that we have on the canvas. Okay. Now this is dry, but before I do this, I'm going to go back to this wall and finish it. So I'm going to take my brush, take Naples Yellow, mix it with a bit of the raw umber and Naples Yellow I have here, and start highlighting. And if you find that when you're highlighting, it looks a bit, the wall is not, the paint is not even on the wall, that's good. You don't want it to be even. It's nicer when you have different variation of values and you can see the brush stroke, and much more interesting. I'm going to take it down now. I'm changing my brush into a smaller one. Same, it's flat, but I'm going to take down some of the, I'm going to go down here and add more, a little bit more, again, just a bit more of the raw umber, so it doesn't look too light. Here too. That's good. That's perfect. Let's see. Now let's take again some raw umber and Naples Yellow and just kind of soften this. And it should be kind of like a glaze, not too thick. It's good. And here too. All right. We'll move on to chimney. Sorry, I have to move it on the side and then. All right. Actually, before I move on to the chimney, I'm going to take a little bit of white, put it in this Naples Yellow, which is mixed with a bit of raw umber, and I'm going to highlight this part. And it's more, what I'm using here is more like a glaze, not very thick. Again, on this side. This is good. Okay, keep this lighter than this one in the back. And I'm going to work on the chimney now. Actually, you know what? Since I have color here, I'm going to glaze. I'm going to glaze the wall. This wall. Darker, because this wall is in the back. So I mixed raw umber and Naples Yellow. Part of this wall has is in the shadow area, and the other part is highlighted right here. Okay, good. Let's do chimney. Okay. Usually what I do after is I glaze over the house, the walls, a bit of another color. Let's say I use yellows for the, I'm sorry, blues for here, for the window. I glaze the blues around a bit, just kind of to give it an interesting look. But this can be done after. We don't have to do it right now. Right now, what we're going to do is give this wall here a highlight. And those little details, that little.
Well, I have to pick Maggie up at the groomer.
Okay.
So I may be back in time to do more.
Sure.
So
yeah,
I'll put you on mute for a minute.
No problem.
She's close by.
Okay. Just going to take a break for a minute. One more layer for the chimney. So I have paints, Naples Yellow, white, and a bit of raw umber to make the Naples Yellow a little bit more earthy. And I'm just going to highlight the top of the chimney here. Give another highlight here. So this Naples Yellow has a bit of raw umber and white. Just the top of this detail, those balls in here. Just kind of highlight the top. Just a bit like that.
Hi, Leal, I'm back.
Hi. Okay, good. All right. So we're doing the chimney right now. Just highlighting.
Highlighting.
Yeah, highlighting a little bit. So I used white with Naples Yellow and a tiny bit of raw umber to get this beautiful highlight on top.
Okay.
I need to see it. So and it's drying darker. So if you see that once you put it, it's drying darker, dries darker, put a bit more white in there. That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
The chimney doesn't have to look, it doesn't have to have the same exact color of the house. A tiny bit of, let's do a little bit of that yellow. Yeah. There. Now, I'm just going to move on to the balcony and we'll be good for this week for the house. Balcony, Naples Yellow, raw umber, a little bit of raw umber, and we'll start with a line here. Oh. Round brush, small round brush, and put some water in there in the color, in the paint. Let's take that. Okay. That's good. All right, it will take one more layer of highlight right here. I'll just wait for it to dry. So we're good, I think. We can move on to other parts of the house next week or the week after. Actually, the week after.
Right, you're not here next week.
I'll put it in the email.
You're cooking.
I'm cooking, exactly.
Cooking and entertaining.
Yeah.
It's going to be your whole summer. It's going to be like that for your whole summer by the sounds of it.
I know. Probably get a break in August. That would be fine, you know. That'd be good in August to take a break.
In Greece in September, that's amazing.
Yes. September, yes.
You've been to Greece before, haven't you?
Twice.
Yeah. Did you go to the same place this year?
No, so we're going somewhere else. Let me just pause. Right. Now, I'm going to take white with a round brush, titanium buff, more white than titanium buff. Make my color a bit watery, glaze, so the brush, the brush will slide easily here on the canvas, and just put a highlight over here, over this wall. Like that. Okay, that's it. Then we're okay. All right, project is done for this week. We will work on the windows next week and move on to the greenery.